If you want to get more strong or more flexible, realize that you don't have to spend so much time to do it. If you're someone who's short on time and is doing a lot of physical activity anyway, and you still want to improve in your flexibility or in your strength in certain exercises, realize that you can simplify the process. So, a really powerful idea I came across from Pavel Tsatsouline was his greasing the groove principle with strength training. And this principle is basically saying that we're not training to fatigue the muscles when we do strength training. We are actually trying to practice the skill of strength. So when we practice, we focus entirely on perfecting the movement and we are improving the neural pathways so that we become more efficient in the movement. This is a radically different approach to how a lot of people approach strength training in general, which is to do with trying to do as much as possible or get as tired as possible. This is the complete opposite. In fact, he's saying we want to avoid fatigue because fatigue is going to make us perform the movement even worse. So what's fascinating about his approach is that we don't do any more than 5 repetitions and there has to be at least 10 to 15 minutes rest between sets. But you can actually use this protocol in a completely different way, and you can just do a couple of sets a day. And it seems ridiculously, easy, or that you're not putting in much effort. But this way of thinking is backed by the idea that if we stay consistent with something over time, we are going to develop much faster and much more steadily than if we try to do too much all in a short space of time and then we give up. So if we take this kind of long route approach of being really consistent on a day-to-day basis, and we don't fatigue ourselves, but we focus on perfecting movements and the mechanics and the proper technique, this is going to yield a lot better results than someone who's just trying to go hard all the time, doesn't have good technique, and is just getting tired and is getting, overuse injuries and no energy by the end of a couple of months. So we can use simple approaches to develop our flexibility and our strength. We don't always have to force improvement. We can use approaches where we do little bits every day, and all these little bits of effort add up over time, and this yields much better results. And I have a pretty good story about this because I haven't trained much handstands for the last year, I would say. However, I still have the strength to do a press to handstand, and the protocol that I used to develop it was the greasing the groove principle from Pavel Tsatsouline. So that strength remained with me for such a long time, even after I stopped training that movement. And this makes me think that not only is this consistent but small bits of effort approach um, more stable, but the gains from it also seem to stay with us longer because there's a lot of other movements that I practice where I did them intensely for a short period of time, and those gains have not stayed with me the same way as the ones I did where I was just practicing a little bit every day. So check out this protocol, Greasing the Groove, and realize that there are simple approaches to building strength and getting flexible. You can do 10 minutes a day for mobility, for example, and you're going to yield massive results over time. You don't always have to push um, to massive levels of fatigue, especially if you're doing many, many other things that are physical already. Sometimes the clever approach is the simple approach, and this can yield good results if you have patience and you can stick with something for long enough to see it through to the end.